entertained this holiday. Be entertained this holiday. Informante Radio. The sound for a new age.
The views and opinions expressed on the radio program by the guests, advertisers, news bulletins, call-in listeners or chatters are solely the views and opinions of the source who express them. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions and the views of Trustco Group International, the broadcast regulators in Namibia, or that of the Informante radio station.
This is Informante Radio. The sound for a new age.
And that's how we say good morning to you on a Monday morning. Today marks it's look at the 20th, Dirkas.
Yeah.
It's the 20th, eh?
16th.
16th.
You are
I think
you
I'm
are
just
running. You are in a hurry today.
No. I think I'm just probably I want the December to go because I still feel like it's loading, yeah?
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm in November or something. So December is still kind of loading.
It's like it's not getting away
it's still just not getting there. But nevertheless, good morning to you and welcome to the morning mix. This is the holiday edition. Don't ask us where Cuba is, Neville Passon or Maria is. Yeah?
We've explained that. We've explained that.
Yeah. So, Dirkas, how was your weekend?
It was fine, Sammy. Thanks very much. It's actually very quiet. I've decided to sort of like to do a mock attack on my packing techniques for the holiday. So I took out suitcases and I had a look at them and I thought, now what will I take with me? You know, we spoke about safety last week and not overloading your vehicle or the vehicle that you're traveling with, doesn't matter what it is. And I just realized that, you know, we should actually make things much simpler when we go on holiday. Instead of trying to take your entire household with you, you know, take only what you need, one or two things. It's so much easier, and it's just a pleasure if you then pack your things because you don't waste time.
I think that's
you feel
easier
relaxed.
for the guys,
I'm telling you,
the woman needs to take even what they are not going to wear.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
Because they packed not knowing, they are never sure what they want to go wear. So they must make sure they have at least 5 options.
That's the problem. So when I did my thing and my wife walked in, I realized it's a different story. It's not going to work. So I left everything and I walked out again.
Yes, sir, that's not going to happen. Good morning, Claudia, and welcome for joining the stream right here. If you have just joined the stream, this is the morning mix. And it's me, Cehmy, and I'm with Dirkas in the studio up until the hour of 10. And we're just basically giving you updates on what will be happening. It was quite a very hot weekend, yeah?
Very, very, extremely hot. And especially last night, Sammy, even by 11, 12 o'clock, you know, it was like 12 o'clock midday, and it was just extremely hot, and it just did not change.
Because I thought yesterday when I saw, I woke up, I saw there's a little bit of clouds. I was like, oh, thank God, maybe it will rain. Yeah. Then later I see the clouds scattering again, and I was like, no.
And Weatherbug on Friday actually predicted some thunder showers for Sunday, but there was absolutely nothing. And the interesting thing is it's sort of like throughout the night, even early hours, I'm talking about 3, 4 o'clock this morning, it was still very, very hot. Now, that's good news. It's uncomfortable, but sometimes it's a good news because when the evening temperatures and the day temperatures sort of move closer to each other, that's when you have better likelihood of rain, or that's what the old people used to believe in. Yeah. But we have to check out the weather forecast and see.
So what's the update on how does the weather look like so far?
I think the interior of Namibia today, partly cloudy and hot to very hot in the south. Elsewhere it's going to be partly cloudy and hot with isolated thunder showers, but scattered thunder showers are likely over the central high ground, the central north, the west and the east, so that's not bad. The coast partly cloudy and cool to mild with some fog patches, and the wind's going to be moderate to fresh westerly to southwesterly. Now let's look at some of the temperatures. We're starting with the capital Windhoek, 21:30, Walvis Bay 17:26, Tsumkwe 24:34, Swakopmund 18:25, Rundu 24:30, Sesfontein 23:30, Rebels 21:32, Otjiwarongo 21:32, Otapi 23:33. Then we move to Oshakati 24:33. Oranjemund 19:32. It's quite hot there, I must say. Ondangwa 23:33. Upuvu 22:31. Umathea 20:32. And then we move to Ukongu 20-32, Ukukuyu 25-32. Okakarara 22-32 degrees today. Noordoever 21-39 degrees today. That's the forecast. They're very hot in the south with 39 degrees touching on the 40. Marienthal, high of 36. Ketmans 39 today. Katimu 33. Henties Bay 23. Grootfontein 31. Aus 36. Aruap 35. And Aranos 35. So there we got it. And then quickly just for the travelers, a lot of people I think left their homes already this weekend.
Yeah.
Some people will still work until the end of this week. Cape Town's going to be fine and warm, 16-26. Johannesburg fine and warm, 13-27. Gaborone 31. Maputo 26. Harare 27 with some rain. Lusaka 29 and Luanda 31. And there we've got it. Now looking at this week, Sammy, now from today until Friday, or let's take it until Monday next week. Monday next week, of course, the 23rd. We see some scattered thunder showers for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And then clear skies again for Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
But we'll bring an update daily to our listeners and our viewers
as they come through.
Yep.
At the same time, let's say good morning to Ndapanda Martin coming through, saying it's mother's nature. It's a mother nature thing of packing more than what we need, as we were talking about packing. And how it's true that we had a very hot weekend. This is the good reason why we carry more to change, like the weather.
But you know what, they can send, our listeners and our viewers, they can actually send us from where they are. They can tell us what the weather is.
Yeah, no, Martin, the panda, you just made my morning. You say you change like weather, that's why you pack so much. Of course, we've got Shiwe watching all the way from the UK. Good morning to you, Shiwe.
Oh, good morning there.
Aino is watching all the way from Geneva. Good morning to you. And Regine is asking what is today's topic.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, and of course,
difficult
Shwalo Abner, good morning to you. Coming all the way from Ochivarongo. So let me just say a very good morning to you. Now, we had also a sporting weekend. A lot of football. We had the COSAFA Cup that was playing. The under-20s were playing the COSAFA Castle Cup. And this time around, Zambia regained the title by winning South Africa 3-0.
We got it.
I don't know why Namibia never reaches to the finals no more. Ever since we won as the Brave Warriors, our team, the young boys are just not doing well. And in another news, the Team USA managed to win the President Cup.
Yes, you know what?
Captained by Tiger Woods.
Woods. Now the USA, they trailed for most of the first 3 days of the 2019 President's Cup. The international squad actually took control of the competition on day one at Melbourne, Royal Melbourne in Australia, after playing with Captain Tiger Woods and partner Justin Thomas. But Woods' squad was down 2 points entering the singles play on the final day, and it raised that deficit quickly, and they ended still holding the cup. So that was a brilliant one.
And they say he actually became the captain. That's Tiger Woods, the second captain to lift the trophy. The first captain to do so was Hale Irvine in 1994 when they inaugurated the cup. So
you got it.
As much as they were talking about Tiger Woods' days are over, he once again proved to the world that he's one of the best
golfers
around. Yeah, so big ups to him. And it's just an inspiration for you out there as well. Never give up and never let people let your guard down, because you are more than what people think you are.
But there was not good news for the Blitzbokke on Sunday. They lost against New Zealand Kiwis, and the last time the Blitzbokke had that trophy in their hands was in 2015. So the points were 7 points and 5 to the Blitzbokke. It's a sad one, but nevertheless, it was a hard fight. It was a tough fight. The Blitzbokke did well. I mean, losing for them sounds like no option, but you know what? Sometimes you must just bow the knee to a better team. And it was Sunday was not their day. But in any case, congratulations to the best team. You're talking about motivations. I mean, I like starting the week like that. And we're talking about sport. A little guy, Jonas Shalongu, he's a para-athlete. He's only 12 years old. And he actually received this week, or last week, weekend, his prosthesis.
Yeah, I saw the video. I saw the video on social media.
Yes.
It was making rounds, and it was such a...
Just bring tears to your eyes.
Yeah.
And he also received the Community Inspirational Award during the Namibia Annual Sports Awards. So congratulations to little Jonas Shilongo. He is absolutely a star, and we're holding. I hold my thumbs for him with his practicing his athletics, and he's going to be a superstar. I promise you. Maybe we can get hold of him one day and have a chat to him.
Yeah, no, I think that will be very, very well if we could just get him in the studio and just see what we can do. Nevertheless, Terence Crawford also had his bout this weekend, and he was, he's still the champion. He still holds the WBO welterweight title, and he had a contestant that this guy's name, I don't even want to pronounce it. Probably that's why he was knocked out. But he managed to retain his WBO welterweight title. That's against Igititus, Cavalier. Yes.
Yeah, that's
all right.
I think just type it, just go and read it.
I'm gonna leave that as it is. Yeah, I don't wanna get myself.
It's a mouthful on Monday. I'm not even gonna try that one, Sammy. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna leave that as is. Yeah. In another news, our Hawks completed a great tournament and they were the overall winners. That's franchise winner of the year award. That's at the PSI Nationals. That's in Cape Town on Friday. Apparently, this is the second time that they are retaining this title. Yeah. So big ups to the Hawks right there, and keep taking Namibian hockey across the borders. That's very brilliant right there. And just to give you a little bit of the weekend, the English Premier League, we had quite good matches, and people were a little bit. Some were happy, some were not. And of course, the Liverpool fans will always be happy because they are keeping a good win streak. Yesterday, we had the likes of we had the game of Man City playing against Arsenal. Arsenal lost 3-0. Manchester United had a 1-1 draw. That's with Everton. So the race is still going hard, and I must say big ups to Liverpool because they are really, really, really playing like they are the champs, like nobody's gonna beat them. That's just a little bit of a few of the news sports over the weekend, but nevertheless, that's football. If you love yourself sports, that's how we say good morning to you. Let's also welcome that is Marius is also joining the live stream. Good morning to you.
Marius is backing out today. We'll get him back. I think tomorrow he's going to be back with a full news report, a sporting report.
Yeah.
So that's how we start Mondays,
Yeah, it's
lose some,
Monday.
win some, lose some.
You win some, you
lose some. Win some, lose some. But it's fine, we'll get them back.
We'll get them back. Let me say good morning to Claudia. She's also joining us on the stream. And somebody from Onampira, that is Rafael Shikesho, is also watching from Onampira right there. And Grootfontein is also in the building. That's Selma Nombo. Good morning to you.
Selma from Grootfontein. What's the weather like there? And I want people to let us know rain-wise who received good rains, because we know that Otjiwarongo had good rains. But maybe the guys joining us now can tell us what the weather is like and whether they've received some good rains in that area or not.
In the areas or not. At the same time, let me also say good morning to Thomas. Remember, you can also listen to us live if you are in Rundu 107.2, Otjiwarongo 105.9, Marienthal is at 104.0, the coastal towns we are at 103.3, and of course Keetmans we are at 88.2. Not to forget, if you are up north, you can always listen to us live on the radio, that is at 105.6. Now, Dirkas, last week when we were talking, we're like, no, let's leave politics, let's leave the harsh news. But it's so impossible.
It's just not going away.
It's not going away. So let's quickly check what's happening in the news.
Yeah, let's tackle it from the top. I think the one that sort of caught my attention over the weekend was actually Friday night, was that accident at Usia Kotako. When the passengers and elderly people and disabled people actually fell to the ground with that lift collapse. 8 passengers and 2 crew injured. and one of them, the 84-year-old Prime Minister of Uganda, and his wife are amongst the injured. So that was really a shocking situation. And I know that our news crew actually try and followed up. I spoke to our journalist this morning, and there's still no word, and that's so sad when something like that happened. It's not like you can hide it, or it was a dream and someone made up a story. I mean, look at the pictures on the front pages today. Yeah. And these people are now treated in hospital. Some of them already had some accidents. One guy leg amputated. The other ones came here for medical treatment, and then this happened. One would expect the airline or the crew on the ground at least to apologize, or just to release something and saying, this.
Leah, let's get I think maybe have to come out and they have to tell us what happened, just as
or the airports company.
Yeah, or the airports company. They have to at least tell us what happened, and they have to apologize, and they have to say it will not happen.
Absolutely. There's absolutely nothing. Whether they said sorry, how can we help those injured. And it was really a traumatic situation. You can imagine all the lights go out. That whole steel container just fell to the ground. The people in the wheelchairs, they said that they couldn't find their way out. The wheelchairs were on top of them. There was also a young boy amongst them, and that traumatic experience.
I must give it up to the paramedics. Yeah, they were really. Yeah, they did their job, and they really managed to get everybody safe.
And we wish them speedy and good recovery. And sorry to arrive and to experience that on our airport again. It is not good news for us.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of the holiday, and this is what's happening. Now we spoke about the promise from the acting Ministry of Fisheries, Albert Kawana.
Uh-huh.
And he's under pressure, my friend. He is under pressure, but because he must make a firm commitment right now. And he's meeting with the union bosses this week because they want it in writing. And they said, thank you for the promises. It's fantastic news, but now you put your money where your mouth is. So what do you think is going to happen there? With that one?
I don't know. Yes. I was listening to him when he was talking, yeah? And and he came up saying that the fishermen must create a group, or whatever, they must come together so the ministry can give them fishing quotas. Now, I was thinking about this, and I was like, but application for fishing quotas is already through. And he even said, no, I know application and all that is done, but we can make a plan.
Yeah.
So when he was saying that, I was like, that's already corruption right there.
Yeah, it's not going the right way.
That's not going the right way. You cannot want to make special amendments. Then that's corruption on its own, because other people applied. Now you just want to tell people.
I can see how they're going to give them fishing rods and say, okay, you can use that part of the beach, you can fish there. That's a fishing quota all by itself.
And even came through saying the media must not report about the fishing rods. Apparently, they must be very.
We know that investigation is going on.
But why must he comment about it? And he got attacked left, right, and center. I was like, why did he even mention fish rods?
Yeah, well, we know that the Law Society actually confirmed more fish rods arrests this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That we will also follow that.
I think it's one they say is the girlfriend of. I don't know. It's apparently the woman is claiming to be Saki Shangala's girlfriend. And,
interesting story there. What's developing and how they try to get rid of certain evidence, try to get away with it. But I think the police act fast and quick and very effectively. So we actually sort of commend them on that one.
Yeah, and another guy, Nigel. Yeah, this guy was first arrested because when they were first, I think by the time they arrested Esau them, he was also constructing, he was obstructing. He didn't want the police officers to come in, and they arrested him. This is the second time he's being arrested, and this time around they were trying to get rid of evidence. So,
as daar 'n rookie is daar 'n vuurtjie. We can check that.
It's too much.
We've managed to invite the police guys for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, they will come in tomorrow
because
morning.
I want to know more about the new penalties, heavy penalties for drunken driving. I mean, 8,000 rand for locals, that's it. You moet betaal, papa, klaar. Jy lag en betaal. And 9,000 for visitors. But what you said, interesting one, is that for first offenders or
they
not?
said it's for first offenders. Okay. So if you're a first offender, you will get bail of, that is 8,000 Namibian dollars if you're a Namibian. and that is 9,000
But
if you are.
But you have to
foreigner.
pay. You have to pay this before you go to court.
Yeah, they will arrest you,
Yeah.
and they will take
Finish.
you, they will go put you in probably there the cells, and from there, if you can pay the bail, then only they will start, giving you. Then you can pay your bail at the police
Yeah.
station. If you don't, you have to go into prison and you can
So,
pay
Sammy, I mean, we can say what we want. This weekend alone, 7 people already arrested. 4 people in Walvis Bay, 2 in Swakopmund, and 1 in Karabib for
Yeah.
drunken driving. So I think we're going to have a chat tomorrow morning with the police
with
and
the
find
police.
out
Not to
what
mention,
is.
as we speak, our prominent artist, that's
Yes, talk about that.
award winner, that's the dog, also got arrested. That's on Saturday evening.
But apparently
and he had an accident with apparently bumped into a polo or something, and he also got arrested, and he was under the influence.
There we got it.
And he paid bail of 8,000 Namibian dollars.
We- but am I wrong in saying that he had some other people in the car with him?
At the moment, nobody is really sure because the news that came through, it's not really true because I think the informant did report that he was with Sunny Boy and another guy called DJ Castro, but that is not so true. Other people were in the car with him, but at the moment, nobody really knows.
So we'll find out
Yeah,
more.
so we'll find out more about this story because he will be appearing in court, I think, today, and Eba will be covering that and she'll be giving us an update regarding that. Now, something interesting that happened regarding driving under the influence. Now, a man poisoned himself with brick fluid
Why
to avoid DUI charge.
is that possible? Where was that?
Now, this happened in the coast, and this story is on the Informative Facebook page. And it says that in an attempt to avoid a drunken driving charge, a man that was stopped by the police roadblock that's on the B2 road, just outside Swakopmund, drank a brick fluid while awaiting for officers to take him into town for proper breathalyzer test.
Wow, how could
$8,000 is not a joke.
Maybe the brake fluid. Maybe he just wanted to test his own brakes.
$8,000 is not a joke.
I think it's not a joke. But another thing that's happening, and the head of police, Lieutenant General Sebastian Natunga, said that he's very concerned about the amount of false documentation, and that is driver's licenses being confiscated just the past week, 2 weeks, and also false vehicle licenses.
Yeah.
So according to him, this is serious, but on the increase.
Yeah.
But think about that. Is that not why we see more sort of accidents? People that are simply not, they are not ready to be behind a car steering wheel. Say, got a false license, got a false registration, and they are not trained. They're not trained to drive.
I think sometimes you find really qualified drivers that just cannot pass the driver's test, especially the learners. It's very difficult for them to obtain a learner's. So they always go to means of buying these false papers, and which is a problem, which is not good.
Yeah.
So I think out there they must probably bring back the old system. You see, Natas used to have a system of theory,
Yeah.
where you don't have to write, whereby they just ask you a question and you have to say it. I think they must bring that back because people used to pass more. This writing stuff, people are failing left, right, center.
And I think they overemphasize the parking technique. It's like everything is about how well you park. Yes, that's important, but very little is actually spent with the guy in the car to see how well he drives his vehicle. And make that more strict.
Make more, because I can park for an hour if I want to. I have more time. I can take my time. I'm not in a rush to park. I can park.
But the minute you have to actually drive
that's-
and it's not just driving in the yard where they do the test, it's take the person on the road and make that a lengthy test, and add to that a couple of skills. We spoke to a guy last week, actually, as a matter of fact, Hannes Kaufman did, and we will play those contributions on safe driving, and maybe we can just put it all over different time slots. People can listen to that, and they should listen to that, and what safe driving is all about, and maybe it will change. If we can save a life by doing that, that'll be good. And I think that's important. The other thing that we mentioned, Sammy, was the amount of illegal immigrants currently in Namibia. We know of a group of 42 that's currently be kept at Usire, and they wait for repatriation. And Home Affairs, Mr. Frans Kapoffi, said that this group from South Africa fled the country after that xenophobic attacks. and more are trying to get into the country. So that's become a big problem, and that's about the ones that I've got. That if you've got any other interesting headlines for today.
We have been talking about housebreaking last week. We have been talking about GBV last week. And again, a case of GBV was reported last week whereby a man killed the girlfriend. That's in Ohangwena. I don't know what's happening in Ohangwena region. People from Ohangwena region, please tell us what is happening in your region, because most of these GBV violence cases always come from there. I just don't know what's going on. Now, apparently, this young man from Ohangwena, he hanged himself in a tree that's in Onuno. That's after allegedly killing, that's the 19-year-old Ndatelela Ndafa. That's with a metal bar.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
As violent as that.
And I just decided to, now we don't know, they probably had issues, and you see both of them are no longer there. Nobody knows what was the reason behind all of this. They are all gone. They left a kid, a 1-year-old baby that they had. And this kid has to be, it's now an orphan, What happened to, I always think, growing up like this, how do you tell a kid that no, your mom was killed by your dad?
Also sad situations.
It's a very sad situation for the baby, for that kid.
And traumatic, because
a
lot of these children, if you just look at where the people live and the houses or the houses that they live in, a lot of these acts happen in front of the children, And that psychological, sort of like, I would call it a disposition for the rest of your life. It must be something terrible. But they witness these crimes taking place. That's shocking. I also want us to try something this week, just for the fun of it.
For the fun of it.
And we can do it for the rest of the week. And we said we will do something different, and that's opening the telephone lines. And let's talk with the guys watching us. So have you got a telephone number for us? And we try it, and we just get the guy to talk to us.
If you want to probably say something and you want to share your views, please, you can give us a call in the studio. The number is 061 251 720. That's 061 251 720. That is the number that you can call if you do want to come through and just share your views with us. Now, some page came through, and of course, footballers and their fans, and he said, "Good morning, gents. So sorry for Arsenal. My team Tottenham started off bad, but we play better now, so I'm happy for Spurs." So somebody in Cape Town also came through saying good morning. That is Lorato Roy, say Moro Crew. I'm watching from Cape Town. Another football fan also coming through here. That's Biza. Good morning to you, Biza.
Lorato is a very nice name, actually.
Lorato. Huh?
Yeah. Lorato.
But this one is Lorato.
Oh, Lorato, yeah.
This Lorato. This one is Lorato.
Well, I think for the ones in South Africa, I must again greet them and say Dumelang, Likai, and welcome everyone from South Africa. It's great to have you guys with us here in Namibia, and it's time that you come and visit us.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting visitors from South Africa later today. I'm excited to meet them.
Okay. Biza said, "Good morning, champs. I'm a full-blood Arsenal fan, and I'm actually glad Man City did what they did. I mean, it has to get to a point where the owners and the botsy, the cheap boys at the back doesn't deserve to be on our payroll. We need a ruthless coach like Diego Simeone. We need at least 3 first-class defenders and 2 or 3 first-class midfielders before we see joy that's on the Gunners' faces." So that's an Arsenal fan right there giving a few tips to the coach. So
what is going on with Chelsea players? Because their manager Frank Lampard said he understand the frustration of the supporters after his side failed to excite them once again in the Premier League. What is happening there? I don't follow.
They haven't really been playing the best of football that they are known for. I think that's the pressure is now getting to Lampard, because the people I know, you know how football is. If you don't perform, people will always start talking, and you might just end up losing your job.
I think he got a young team.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nobody has got a good team. It's just it's not performing.
They're not performing. So he understands that, and I think he's going to bring about a couple of changes there. So that's fantastic. And also remember some more news. I think we're going to bring in Kaufman also this week. He should be back tomorrow.
Yeah, probably
and
he
then
can come tell us how the South was and how
get feedback from his trip, and put him behind the microphone for a little bit. So we're going to make those changes. And I think we're still going to talk about your celebration for the Christmas season and the New Year.
And the New Year.
People can also go and check out the Informate Facebook page and look at the posts there. And the same with the news. Have you got any other news there from the newspaper today?
All I can say is we have been talking about the results. The results will be, that's for the grade 10, 12 learners. It's grade 11, 12, if I'm not mistaken. But the results will be coming out. That is on Thursday, 12:15. So
we'll bring that.
Yeah, people won't sleep. They'll be waiting that. But another interesting news is an escaped prisoner was rearrested. That's whereby the Namibian police force in Oshana region has rearrested a dangerous criminal more than a week after he escaped from lawful custody while in the Oshakati State Hospital on the 2nd of December.
We also know that in Swakopmund, another warning and request for support was sent through a WhatsApp group this weekend. The people being attacked, especially visitors to the country. People on holiday, please take care. Don't just walk with your cell phone in your hand or a handbag that's open. Be aware of who is standing around, who does not belong or looks suspicious, because there's a gang operating right now. 3 of the members been identified, and they are targeting tourists and holiday makers, at this moment in time. So please just be aware of your surroundings and report things that does look suspicious. I know it's difficult. And like I said, we had a discussion about it last week. I mean, you can't have a bodyguard with you all the time. And that's not what we're saying. We're just saying be alert and just look around and be on the lookout for each other. Don't leave things open in your vehicle. You are calling for problems. The same with your bags that you're carrying. Just make sure that you hold it's closed, and you don't display things like laptops and notepads and these kind of things, or put them openly on tables. Just think what you do. Just be aware of it. That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
And report it to the authorities or the security people on duty.
Now, Dirkas, last week we were talking about the Namibian Student Union as they went to the Ministry of Finance and they went to request funds.
Yeah.
So I think the ministry released funds as well, and they sent them to NASFAF. Now, what's funny is apparently up to now, NASFAF almost received over $1 billion Namibian dollars.
And what happened to that?
That's what the students are saying, So I think the minister released 170 million when the guys went to go march. When they went to this office and they said, no, listen, we will not leave your office until, you release money, because we want. So he released money, and they were saying, no, I hope NASFAF will use this money in accordance. They will pay the remaining students, and they will prioritize to pay students and not put and give themselves fair checks. But it's apparently over $1 billion Namibian dollars that will pay to NASFAF. And the students they were saying people must be held accountable for that money, because you cannot give money and the students' funds are still not paid up until now. Where is the money?
I mean, look at the date. We're sitting on the 16th of December. It's not something that's going to be resolved within the next day or two.
Yeah, it's not. And so somebody was saying, so for us to get results in this country, do we always have to march or what?
I mean, it does make sense. It does make sense. Systems need to be in place. It's like everything. All the organizations, we spoke about what's happening in our hospitals. It's absolutely pathetic. Educational institutions. I think the demise of a country is when your medical, your policing, and your educational, when that start to fall into pieces, then that's the first big demise of your country.
Yeah.
Your educational institutions must be strong. They must be healthy, and they must be active in what they do. And what we're seeing here is actually a disgrace. So that's falling apart. The medical support, our hospitals are falling apart. So 2 of the strong pillars for a nation, for a country, is already showing cracks. And I would like to hear what people are saying. Let's listen to this.
But in another news is this. Last week, the Ministry of Information, that's Stanley Simata, also came through saying that gatherings organized by independent candidate, that's Panduleni Tula, they're apparently overstretching their fundamental rights and freedom.
Yeah, but isn't that true?
But it's apparently they are creating a concern. They are worried about this. So the people were like, "So you don't want us to practice our rights?"
Yeah.
Apparently, they are concerned now. All these gatherings, I don't know. And he's the Minister of Information. What are they worried about? People are angry. People want results. So we must just sit back and do nothing about it.
I think sometimes, if you look at some of the ministers, I don't say all. I will never say that. I think we've got brilliant ministers. I think we do have brilliant infrastructures, but ministers are there to serve the people, nothing more, nothing less. And it feels sometimes that they want to be so powerful that they become untouchable.
Yeah.
And when they speak, this must be law, instead of serving the people by listening first, proper consultation with the people on the ground, and find out what do they want, what are the needs, because it's huge. It's huge. From the drought that is not over yet.
Yeah, the drought is still.
We think because we've received a bit of rain, we out of the problems that we're facing. We are not. We have and we follow that the entire year. A group of people that actually decided to help the farmers. They collected more than 10 million, and they said they are so proud of what they've done.
Yeah,
they've done this. They actually keep book and track of every farmer that they've helped. And now they said, that was the beginning, because our fight is not over yet. We still have to stand by these people, because although a couple of towns receive good rains, the farming community is still in stress. They are still not coping. Because remember, just the other day, they had to sell off cattle. They literally got nothing for the cattle. It had no value. Game, we had reports of game dying on the farms. Now, how a farmer how does he invite?
I think we got funds from so many people. A
couple of countries, I know.
A couple of countries came.
Germany,
but,
for instance.
What is the government doing with all these funds?
That would be interesting. Maybe we can follow that up and have someone in the studio say,
yes, I want to know.
Give us an idea of how you're actually spending 100 million that you received from Germany.
Yes, because up to now we didn't see them intervening, and it's still just the private sector that is coming through and saying we are donating this, we are doing this.
Private
but the government, yes, up until now, all the funds that they got, what are they doing with the funds?
Yeah, that's the problem. But we can talk about that. Just getting people out of the dilemma that they are facing. I've got something there. I just want to check it out quickly. Oh yeah, there we got it. And you're quite right, Cehmy. It's another organization, Momentum Life. They've also, and Alvin just pointed it out to us, that they've decided that they're going to give some help. So we got some statistics in today, and what I will do is I will work through them, and we can actually talk about that tomorrow. Thanks, Alas, for that. We'll bring it to the table, and we can just chat about what they've received and the distribution thereof. It'll be interesting to find out.
Yeah, no, it will be interesting. In another news, we know that Ventu got a new mayor.
Yep.
That's Francina Kahungu. She's elected new mayor of Windhoek. Now, the funny thing is, at the inaugural, the ex-mayor, that's Mwede Kathapwa, was not around.
You're not serious.
It's like you were the president when you need now to come hand over.
Say, but you're not there.
He decided not to turn up.
It's like the Miss Namibia situation, you know.
That's very funny.
It's actually quite funny when you think about that. And another thing, talking about the city of Windhoek, we will also receive this week the stats on the water saving. There's still a great concern for the capital, for Windhoek. The saving of 15% did not materialize. Although the Van Bach Dam got some water, I think it's now standing on 36-37% full. It's still a concern. It doesn't mean that because there was an inflow of water that the Windhoek is out of the trouble. It's not. It's definitely not. So we will also try and get those stats from the city of Windhoek. We've received that on a weekly basis, just to say to us how much saving we actually manage and what the situation is right now.
Yeah.
So we wish the new mayor all the best for the task ahead.
Let her enjoy her stay. I was reading whereby, who was it? Job. Job is another's. He said, apparently, congratulations, madam. Enjoy your stay while it lasts, because next year I'm officially taking over.
Not serious. so already. So
already.
For the show.
Yeah, I'm congratulating you.
But you're not
enjoy
going to stay
it,
there.
But next year you are going to hand it
Shame,
over
man.
to me. Yeah, you are tuned into the morning mix. A very good morning to you. This is the holiday edition. We're just basically checking what's making news. And I think on Wednesday we'll lighten things up. We'll be having Sally Boss Madame in the studio. And, a female artist is just coming to tell us what her plans are, her latest album and all that. Let's say good morning to Vetandapi in Germany, all the way from Germany.
Wow.
He is listening from Germany right there.
Well, that's fantastic.
So welcome to the show as well. And always make sure that you stream us live every day from 8 a.m. So, Dirkas, what will you be doing for December? Last week you were talking about...
I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here until after the Christmas, and only leave on the 27th, the 28th for a brief visit to South Africa. Just going to visit my daughter there, and then we're going to return. But on the return, we are actually going to be part of a big celebratory group, women that actually stood together and they said, listen, let's take hands and tour the world. And they handing over a baton with this, it's like a scribe, and it's of well wishes the one country to the other one. And these group women riders, you can go and follow it up on WRWR. They have now arrived in South Africa. They're all motorbike riders. And the group is traveling now through South Africa to the Namibian border. And we're going to meet them there at Noordoever. And then from Noordoever, we're going to bring that to Windhoek, that baton, that scribe. And then from here, we're going to hand it over to Botswana again. So a massive project, very successful so far, where women across the world are taking hands and say, let's stand together as women throughout the world. And yes, they've included Namibia in that. So that's fantastic. But I'll also give the specific dates, maybe later in the week, because sometimes there's a delay of a day or two, with the group traveling because of weather or unforeseen circumstances. So it's going to be a very short break, and then we'll be back the first week in January.
Yeah.
So it's not a long holiday. I'll take my holiday sometimes else.
I'll be around.
Yeah, two of us. The two of
I'll
us.
be around probably also that week. I think I'll be driving to the north just to go greet, my sisters and all, my brothers and all. So I will be in the north. I'll be seeing what's happening there, just to see how things are going down there. So other than that, I'll be with the family at home.
Fantastic.
Also be braai.
And and daar is niks soos 'n goeie braai nie.
Yeah, it's braai.
I'm rather concerned about Bason, because he said that he will tell us how things are in Cape Town and the tournament with the Namibians participating. So we hope that we will hear from him sometime or the other, that he will just send us some news, because he's very quiet. I'll see if I can get hold of him. But apart from that, we're going to have the rest of the week. Let's see what will unfold news-wise. But we actually going to start to talk about the various nations and their celebrations.
Yeah.
How they celebrate Christmas, and especially our nation, how we celebrate Christmas. So again, I think we must give the telephone number and encourage the people following us to tell us, how do you celebrate and intend
to celebrate
your Christmas and your New Year?
That's right. Let me also just say this, our current president, that's President Hage, he continued to receive that's congratulatory messages from across the world, and he said thank you very much for everybody that has expressed appreciation for him. That's all the world leaders that have sent him messages saying thank you very much, I appreciate that, and will make Namibia a better place again. So big ups to everybody that came through.
Yep.
Just to say Yeah, you did well. Now, over the weekend, as part of giving back to the community, that's Kuku Agri Trading hosted its annual Christmas lunch. That's at Oshakati in the Oshana region. Now, the initiative was basically started in 2017, and they cater up to close to 200 elders and people living with disabilities and orphans from Oshakati
No,
and the
that's
surrounding
fantastic.
area. So the founding president, that's and father of the Namibian nation, Dr. Cehmy, thanked Kuku Agri that's for coming up with an initiative to host elders in Oshakati for a special Christmas lunch.
Oh, that's a fantastic
So
one.
that happened.
That's already
and,
good news.
So Kuku Agri, thank you very much. As Namibians out there, we must always give back to the community. And this man started this way back, and he's still doing, and he's always giving back to the elders, the people living with disability, the orphans.
No,
Not
that
everybody
such
is
a
so
good story.
fortunate to have a good Christmas. Yeah, so that one's off lunch. You know how much growing up just to get that Christmas plate of lunch meant.
Yeah, I think one of the support groups, and like I said, I will follow the story. One of the support groups actually decided to put Christmas packs together for the farming community, for the wives and for the families. Also something that I just picked up, but we'll report on that tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Sammy, from me, that's it. I've got
this morning we are done. Let me say good morning to Kanjero. He came through. Say I have two goats to braai. Pass by.
Kom ons gaan,
He just
kry sy adres nou.
We just got an invite right there.
Kry sy adres nou, ons is daar.
So we'll most definitely be there, yeah.
And talking of goat meat, it is so delicious and it is so healthy, you know. So you can't go wrong.
You can't go
In
wrong.
any case, this holiday, make sure you get some goat meat. Dis baie lekker.
That's baie lekker, yeah. At the same time, don't forget tomorrow we'll having Fabian Amukwelolo from the city of Windhoek, and he'll be explaining and he'll be telling us more about the 8,000 Namibian dollar fine. He'll be giving us more detail about it, because at the moment, first-time offenders, previous offenders, do you pay the same? He'll be telling us more about that and why they came up with it. So if you have more questions to ask, make a date with us tomorrow morning, as he will be joining us from 8 a.m. Till then,
They've got
Dirkas,
it. Yes. Vat vas, maak mooi hierdie naweek. Maak dit 'n lekker maandag.
check it out.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.
We out.
The sun's irradiance is our most abundant resource in Namibia. So why not